So this is the part that describes how things went so differently from what I had wanted. Coming back to the Netherlands, I was informed that I should try and do some visual training. But all of this is quite expensive, so I was in touch with an optometrist who told me that maybe some kind of test, like maybe you know the word, I'm not sure, the fixation disparation test would give more information on how my eyes function in regard to my brain. So she advised me that some hospitals can also do these tests. So I went to my general practitioner. Okay, he said, well, let's try and do that. But the thing he didn't know is that the hospital that he sent me to actually doesn't have the equipment to do this kind of test. And also probably what he didn't know, and I didn't know, is that doing such a test, the orthoptist, I'm not sure about the English words, it's not an optometrist, but it's an orthoptist who works for the eye doctor, applies eye drops that dilute the pupils. So this orthoptist did all kind of tests, and she thought that my eyes were functioning pretty well. I already did eye training for about 6 weeks by then. But then, at the end, she thought it would be wise to apply the eye drops and see if there was anything in the back of my eye that troubled me. And that was the worst thing I ever experienced. She applied the eye drops. They had to set in for about 30 minutes. So I was put in a waiting room, and the idea was I'd had to go back to the optometrist within 30 minutes. But within 1 minute, I actually got as dizzy, as in vertigo dizzy, as I was 7 years ago when it all started. I was in a kind of panic because I thought, well, what's happening? I couldn't even walk into the room of the orthoptist. She had to help me because I couldn't walk straight, and I was feeling so dizzy and nauseous. By that time, she was not sure about what to do, I think. She told me, well, go home. This feeling probably disappears within a few hours because the eye drops will not influence you any longer than a few hours. So someone took me home, and it took me 6 weeks to recover. I couldn't actually walk straight. My whole system of equilibrium was totally gone. I was really out. So I'm so sorry for me, actually, because I invested a lot of money to go and do this training in America, and now by these stupid eye drops, this effect was gone. And I was very sad about that, really. And I must say, I haven't regained the improvement that I had gained when I was in America and during those 6 weeks when I was at home before the eye drops were put into my eyes. And well, that's a hard thing to deal with, but in the end you have to. Well, my next step is looking for a good optometrist in the Netherlands, which is not that hard to find, because the neuro-optometrist in Utah, America, had quite a few names of people I could visit. Based on the report that the American neuro-optometrist made, I realized that my eyes are a big problem in my feeling of unbalance, and this was really confirmed by the tests that the optometrist here in the Netherlands did, and he thinks I could improve by doing eye training, which I try to do as much as I can, but because I'm still recovering from the effect of the eye drops, I cannot do as much as I'd like to. And he also suggested I could do a treatment called Syntonics, and that's quite interesting because I know that that it's regarded to be like an alternative therapy and not a therapy that regular doctors or ENTs or neurologists prescribe. So you can Google that. There is an article on the Brain Health magazine, and maybe the link to this article can be put underneath this video. You can read what this Syntonics treatment can do for you. I haven't started it because there's a small waiting list, but maybe at the beginning of next year I'll try and do that. And that's, well, in a nutshell, my journey in dizziness or unbalance. Maybe I have forgotten something I tried or did. I also tried homeopathy. Is that an English word? I hope so. I tried feet massage. I tried maybe other things as well. I tried body stress release, but unfortunately those therapies didn't help. So I do think that the eye theory may be the missing link for me. So I'm very curious what the Syntonics treatment will bring me, and the eye or the visual system training that this optometrist will prescribe me. And then I want to tell you a little bit more about another kind of therapy, which is focusing on the eyes, in a next video. After some time, I actually got very angry with the orthoptist who put the eye drops into my eyes. She claimed that this effect of being totally unbalanced for 6 weeks could never have been caused by these eye drops. And even my general practitioner told me so, which made me even more angry. But of course I was in touch with Cognitive Effects where I was in Utah in America, and they told me that the pupil diluting eye drops actually cause so much light to go into your brain that most probably my whole system just went down. And I recognize this sensitivity to light ever since I had the car accident almost 20 years ago. And I also recognize it from doing another therapy in the Netherlands at the beginning of this year. Even before I went to America, I was put in front of a huge screen with a lot of light being spread from the screen, and the idea is still actually, but I couldn't do this treatment. I shall tell you about that. You are on a treadmill, you walk, and of course you are secured by this thing that you wear, so you can't fall over. But the idea is that looking at this screen, which on which an environment is projected, that your brain knows how to use your balance again. So what you see on the screen is like a path on which you walk. So there you go, on the treadmill, you walk, and most people, after a few minutes, they start projecting images that the pathway is not steady, but is like moving. So you are walking in an environment that is moving. And I think that some people who can handle this therapy, actually they see things moving in the screen. They come at you, you have to try to grab them. But after like 3 minutes, I had to stop because I felt that this was not going very well. And once I was in my car driving home, I actually had like a brain cramp, which didn't disappear after like 4 to 5 weeks. So this was also an indication that the light that came from this screen actually bothers my brain that much, that my whole equilibrium system just shuts down. So I think I had some extra information by those events that might help me to find a more proper kind of treatment. So of course I'm terribly well sad about what happened, because I've seen so many Dutch people returning from America feeling so much better and actually remaining so much better. But I must say, most of them only have like mild TBI. Most of them do not have dizziness or visual induced dizziness, or in my case also characteristics of mild débarquement syndrome, or what they call it most recently triple PD. So I was aware that my results might be different from the people that are treated in America who only have mild TBI. So what to do next? I'll tell you in the next video. Well, this video I want to tell you a little bit more about another way of treating eye problems or visual problems in regard to dizziness. I only heard about it recently, and I'm not sure if I can explain it properly because I do not have the vocabulary to explain it most efficiently. But there's internet. So what I suggest is that you, if you're interested, you go and see the website Mind Eye Institute, and there's a lot of information on this website. You have to search a little bit within the publications, but this is a very interesting type of treatment, and unfortunately it's not cheap. It's about, well, the investigation, the tests are $2,000, and then you need glasses. So like glasses also cost, well, the lenses actually cost like $400 a piece. So, and then you need a frame as well. So maybe $1,000 for glasses. And then you have to travel to Chicago, you have to stay in an hotel, you have to get some transport. So all in all, this will cost about $4,000 or euros. But what's so interesting about it is that this eye doctor has really specialized in how light falls into people's eyes on the retina in your eye, and then from the retina well, how do I say this? The light goes into your eyes through parts of the eyes, lenses go into the retina, and there are all kinds of nerves connected to the retina or in the retina. I'm not sure if I'm telling you this in the right way, but all kinds of processes in our body, even hormonal processes or sleep and wake processes or fight and flight processes, I think are sort of steered, or how do I say this, are influenced by the way that light is falling into your eyes. And what this Dr. Zelinsky does, she's a female doctor, she's like also very good at mathematics, I believe. She does all kinds of tests, and also a test that she found out by ringing bells and closing your eyes. Then you hear a bell ringing and you have to point out where the sound is coming from. So this is, I know it's an alternative kind of testing, and I know that not all the eye doctors actually think this is functioning for people with eye or visual system problems, but I do know some people who actually got very good results by wearing her brainwear glasses, because that's what they are called, brainwear glasses. And that test is called the Z-Bell test. Z from Zelinsky and Bell from the way they are testing, because you listen to a bell ringing and then you will have to point out where the noise is coming from. And most of the time people with balance problems, dizziness problems, eye problems, really can't point out where the noise is actually coming from. So this is it's very interesting, and maybe too alternative to publish, I'm not sure, but at least on my journey I found out that this may be of help. So that was it. We're into November 2019, and that's where I am at this point in time. I'm bothered by the dizziness, but what I gained from cognitive FX, that's what I want to say as well. What I gained is that I do not have a brain fog anymore. I can actually do grocery shopping for about a whole week. I can do the planning when I'm in the supermarket. I don't have to do it at home on a piece of paper. I just go in and I can actually buy things that I need for about a week, which I actually couldn't before I went to Cognitive FX. I went to the supermarket almost every day. And I can also enjoy listening to music again, and I can be very more how do I say it, aware. It's like I'm more awake. And many people who went to Cognitive FX take pictures of their face and their eyes on the Monday when they come in, and on the Friday when they have done this treatment. And the thing is, their eyes are different. Everyone has a different kind of look in their face through their eyes. It's like they're turned on again, and that's so magnificent to watch. I was in a group of 10 people who are doing this training, and most of them actually felt so much better by the end of the week. They all looked differently when looking at their eyes. And I'm not sure about myself. Some people say, wow, your eyes look different. But ever since the eye drops, I'm not sure if I'm actually that more awake when you look at my eyes. I'm not sure. But at least this was my experience, and maybe you want to know more about some aspect. You can always, I think, leave a comment on YouTube. I'm not sure, but I think you can. I cannot reply sometimes when I'm in a week that I'm really feeling awful. I hope you'd understand that. Maybe if necessary, I can give you my email address. I'm not sure about this yet. We'll see what happens, and I hope you learned something from my video. I usually do not like to talk about myself an awful lot, but this is of course for another purpose. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you, well, feel better. Bye for now.